Hello, happy homesteaders. Star Baby Homestead here. Today, I am going to be working on a new compost method. You guys already know I had the bins over onto the side that were made out of pallets. Well, those eventually rotted. They didn't look so cool. Hubby broke them down, and we don't want to use like treated wood, so I'm going to try something different, which I have a 32-gallon garbage can here. It's made out of plastic. If you're concerned about plastic, then just you'll have to deal. If you're concerned about your microplastics, just you do what you can when you can, right? But I'm gonna be using this. I got this cheap off of Amazon. So I have this drill bit. Now this is, if you want to look here, this is a wood drill bit. Okay, I'm going to be using that for the little holes at the bottom for drainage, and I'm going to be using this smaller one here, and that's going to be, this is a half inch. It's going to be for the ones on the side. This one is a 7/8 inch. So I mean, you can use soldering irons or whatever works for you, but you want holes at the bottom for drainage, and then you want smaller holes for aeration on the side. So the good thing about these, you can pick them up and you can roll them. You don't have to get in there with your hands or a shovel or anything. Just pick it up and roll them. And the idea is to bury it at least 3/4 of a way down, maybe a little bit less, so that worms and such can get in there. And just roll it whenever necessary. Now, I did love the whole pallet composting bin. The unfortunate thing is we just did not have enough to fill those. We're just a plain old homesteading garden. We don't have a whole lot of like acreage with tons of raw materials to put in there, so we don't need that much compost. We need a lot, but not a lot. Probably a couple of these in rotation, anywhere from 2 to 3 I think would be enough. So anyway, let's get started. Now you can already see the experimental hole that we did here. This was a larger bit that happened to make like a triangle type of shape, but we don't want to do that. We just want a plain old circle. So let's start here. Put this bit down. All right, here we go. There we go. All right, so that's a good size hole. I'm going to make a few more. All right, there we have all of our holes in the top. So now we need to change out the bit. Now we've already done a test on this can. And where'd it go? Okay, so right about here is where we did the half bit. So I'm going to be making these all along the side of this trash can. All right, I've got the sides done. So I've got smaller holes. That's for aeration. all around. Okay. And the bigger holes on the bottom. So now we've got to layer up our compost. And you also want to make sure that you get one of these lids that snap. Just to keep out critters that may be able to flip it up or whatever. We don't really have raccoons and stuff running around, so I'm not worried about that. But you also don't want it blowing away. So one of these trusty lids, heavy duty plastic, ought to work. All right, so here we are over here at where my compost heap is. Now, the great thing about composting inside this garbage can is because it will keep your compost moist and protected from the elements. I was using a tarp and the pallet method, and the tarp would fly off. It disintegrated from the heat. The wind would rip it to shreds. It was almost impossible to keep it moist because of drought. So with this garbage can and its lid, that contains everything. The lid will keep from blowing off, and it'll keep the moisture that you need to make your compost. So right here, I've got some kitchen scraps with some green. I've got my water to water this down once we start putting it in. And I have some sawdust here that's got some cardboard in it. So you don't want to use too much brown, but you want, I'm not probably going to put all of this in, but I'll at least use half. And so what I'm going to do, since I do have some compost, that's kind of all right, I'm going to show you. It's gross, so just beware. I do have some compost under here that's, in various stages of breakdown, including over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking some of the stuff that's still wet, and I'm going to add it to the bottom of this can. I'll probably sprinkle some brown first, and that way I'll already have the microbes that I need to start the composting. So, all right, let me start shoveling in. Now, on this left side, that was where the original bin was. The earth there is really good. I'm going to move and make space and shift all of this over to the right side here. And this is where we're going to bury down the garbage can. Not deep, maybe up to the second hole in the garbage can. But somewhere where it's easy for the worms to get up in there, and hopefully we won't get any rodents in there. But you know what? I've had rodents in there before. They have enough sense just to get out, because, as this compost, you want to be able to take it out and roll it. So, I guess they're going to be like in a spinner if they decide to stay in there. But I'm going to move this dirt on over here. Now, the good thing about this dirt that I've moved over, a lot of it is compost. So just because I'm not adding to it doesn't mean it's not usable. Now, it's a little chunky, but look at this. Can you see how rich this is? This is compost. And it's just going to continue to compost over here while, I've got the can going. But a lot of this is usable. It does not matter that it's chunky. It'll break down and continue to break down in the beds. You want to remove any huge pieces of wood and that sort of thing. But just because I'm not adding to it doesn't mean that, that it's not going to continue. But here's the hole that I have for the garbage can. So... all right, garbage can goes in the hole. I'm going to pile up around it. So, all right, so we have brown. You want to put in your greens. I could have chopped this up more, but you know, it doesn't really matter. All right. And then we want to water. So that's the layering, all right? It's brown, it's green, it's water. So now I'm gonna put some dirt up around here, compost really, and that'll help insulate and to keep this warm. All right, so I buried it almost to the second one. It's kind of in the back, it's a little bit higher, but the thing is, this whole entire heap and this garbage can, that's all really rich compost. I'm actually very happy about it. It's been slower. I think I just got slowed down because we just didn't have the amount of greenery that we needed. But this is probably going to be useful in the near future. Probably like by this summer, maybe, especially if we get some more rain. So yeah, that's it. That's our garbage can composting. And as this finishes, it gets to the top, all you have to do is just get another garbage can and put it right next to it, and then you can dump the first one into the second one, and then there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what has been your favorite method for composting. This is something new that I'm trying, and again, I would have loved to stick with the composting with the pallets, but it wasn't for our family for now. So it's all about experimentation and seeing what works. Well, let me know in the comments what you like to do, and yeah, I'll be interested to know if you've been using the garbage can method. Mina and the dogs love the compost bin, of course. Be well, be blessed, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.